He is the operations supervisor at Kalina Financial Advisors Limited, earned his bachelor's degree in business administration from Acadia University. While there, he was an active member of the Business Society. Please welcome MEL 2016 speaker Richard Pinder Jr.
How's everyone doing? Good morning. How's everyone doing? I want some of that Stacey Flowers energy. I am so honored to be here at the first MEL Emerging Leaders Conference. I'm so honored to speak this morning. The topic that I'm going to speak on this morning is one that I thought about and I took time to prepare because I wanted to make sure that not only did I tell my story, but I also gave you something to think about. I also gave you an opportunity to think. I gave you something that when you leave here, you'll be like, wow, maybe it's something I can do to make my life better, okay? And so managing yourself, life, career, money. I deal with money on a daily basis. As the introduction says, I'm an operations supervisor at the leading, in my own personal opinion, the leading financial institution in the Bahamas, Kalina Financial Advisors Limited. My name is Richard Pinder Jr. And I just want to begin by asking three very important questions. Why is managing yourself important for your own personal life? Why is it important? Is it something that you think you have to do? Is it something that you need to do? Is it something that you want to do? A lot of persons, they live their lives, but there's no management of their day-to-day operations. There's no structure. There's no reason. They just doing. Why is that? Does your management skills affect your chosen career path? As we've been talking, some of the speakers have been talking about previously, what are your skills? How does that affect what do you want to do with your life? We're all here for a reason. I mean, we all get out of bed every morning. Why is that? Why is that? Are you just getting out of bed for getting out of bed's sake? Are you doing something? Now, in order to do these things, we have resources. How are you using them? Are you using them to the best of their ability? Are you staying within your means? Are you working with what you have? Very important questions. In order to achieve any purpose or goals, management is very critical to personal success. I remember growing up with my father, the best father I think in the world, Dr. Richard H. Pinder. He always was the type of person that I monitored, and I looked at, and I was like, wow, he makes it look so easy. And now, being the man of my own house, as he would say, I look at it and I think it's not as easy as he made it look. But he had the ability to organize himself. He talked to me about various things, and he made it look so easy. He always told me, son, every birthday we would sit down, we would have a conversation. He would say, son, you're 1 year older. That year is gone. What are your new goals? You got to move forward. You got to keep moving forward in life. But in order to do that, you have to manage yourself. You have to determine, how am I going to make this year, this day, this month, this activity better? How am I going to move forward? You don't want to stand in place. All right? The second point, very important. You're going to drift through life standing pat. Are you going to accomplish something? I remember, and I'll tell this story in a further slide, but I remember when I was beginning my job where I am now. I was just coming out of school. It was a job. I was excited. I was like, well, I'm starting this job. I'm not exactly sure what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be, but I'm going to start this job because, of course, you got to work. So I'm going to start this job. I'm going to just see how it goes. Didn't have real vision at that point. But I knew that I had to do something with my life. Leading others does not require perfection, but it does require you to be a good example. Once again, something that I always think about in my personal life, my professional life, is a lot of leaders, they think that They strive for perfection. That's something that you always hear. Oh, let's strive for perfection. It doesn't require you to be perfect. No one's perfect in here. Everyone in here, as we always said, we have our flaws, we have our weaknesses, we have things that we don't do well. But you at least have to be a good example if you're going to have others following you. Okay? Because when people follow you, when you're mentoring others, the first thing that they always want to see is someone who can at least manage themselves, at least someone who can show them how it's done. Because that's very important. You can't be a leader of others if you can't manage your own self. You're just living fake. I'm just going to call it what it is. You're living fake. Because at the end of the day, you go home, your life's in disarray, you're not doing what you want to do with your life, your affairs are in order in terms of your finances, your house, your household, and you have others looking up to you. What kind of example are you? Are you managing yourself? Are you taking pride in what you do? A lot of times, we have to spend the rest of our day making ourselves better. But the first point is managing yourself, starting from you, from the whole man, okay? Life management. It keeps you focused on the important things. Now, as I was looking into this, I thought, what's important to me? It may not be the same thing as what's important to you. If I give you $50, there are a million other things that you're going to do with it than I might do with it. But what's important to you? A lot of times we look in our world and we think about, well, a lot of things are happening, and a lot of persons, they just don't know what they want to focus on. They haven't decided what's important to them. What's the priority? What are they trying to do? I remember my father talking about the second point. Sometimes in life, you have to learn from others, because difficult situations are going to happen, challenges are going to happen. Those make you better. But if you're managing your life, if you're taking care and prioritizing, you avoid difficult situations. My father, on these conversations that he would have growing up, he would always say, son, come to me, ask me anything, talk to me about anything. We had that relationship, open, honest. I could have bounced anything off of him. He would say, you don't have to do certain things that I did. I've already done certain things. As he always said, there's nothing new under the sun. We've heard that saying a million times. It's true. The world is a cycle. We're going in a cycle sometimes. So you don't have to go through some of these difficult situations if you manage your life appropriately. You're able to talk to people. And when we say talk to people, we don't want you to talk to random strangers. We want to talk to people who can benefit you, people who can help you to focus, people who can help you to prioritize. Because a lot of things that we go through in life, we don't have to go through them. You don't have to feel like, I have to go through this situation. When there are persons who are just like we are at MEL now, telling their story, and they can help you to avoid some of those situations. If you're managing your life appropriately, it allows others to notice your gifts and talents, and it provides opportunities to use yourself wisely. I want to tell a story about my career. And I didn't know it at the time. As I mentioned, I was just starting out. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. I didn't know what I was passionate about. Didn't know what I loved. Now, I was in a field that I loved. Everybody loves money. I've always been good at managing it. I've always been good at talking about it. I've always been good at looking at investment options, talking about managing money. I had the best teacher for that. My father managed the household very well. I learned from that. It's always been something that I love to do. But I had a manager in 2008. And what he did was he pulled me aside. We have a program at CFAL where we go into the high schools and we educate students on financial management. We teach them about investments, okay? I wasn't familiar with the program at the time. I was a little nervous. He pulled me in, and he was like, well, Richard, you know, you can't just be here. I'm gonna need you I need you on this team. I need you to help us make this program better. And at first, a lot of persons who know me as someone who is behind the scenes, and that's really who I am. So I was like, I don't know if I want to be running a program. That doesn't sound like my character. That doesn't sound like who I am. He was like, no, you could do this. You can do this. He saw in me things that I didn't see in myself because he knew what I was capable of. And I was managing myself in a way that he knew that I was able to do this particular task that he wanted me to do. And now, 7 years later, we've expanded the program. I've gained confidence in myself, It showed me a passion for something that I love to do, which is educating persons coming up, students, young persons, and it's something that I've continued to do throughout my life. But him being able to see that talent within me, challenging me, it made me better. It forced me to manage my life more effectively, because now I have other persons who I speak to about managing their life, about managing their money. So it forced me to do better. It forced me to challenge myself. And so, whatever your hands find to do it with your might, for there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave. Okay? What that means, I think that says it all. What that means is, there's no life after this. There's no work after this. You're put on this earth for a purpose. And yes, you may meet people along the way who are going to challenge you, who are going to say, look, you're not doing anything right now. I see something in you. I want you to challenge yourself. Your life is way more important than what you're making it right now. There's so much more that you can do. There's so much more than you can give. So give it everything you have. Decide on what it is that you're good at, and do that, whatever that may be. As I mentioned before, my priorities may be different, my passion may be different, but we all have different things that we can do. We're all here for a purpose. Take charge of what you want to do. Take charge of your career. Now, when we say career, it can be a million and one things. There's so many things that we can do. There's so many opportunities in this world where we can make the world a better place. It only takes one person to start doing what they want to do to start making change in the world. Showing interest is only the first step. You have to take active steps in your development. Seize the opportunity. Seize the opportunity. I remember someone telling me before that, well, we always hear people talk about getting in the right circle, networking with the right persons. That's what MEL is about. Networking with people, talking. It inspires you. It gives you thoughts. It gets your minds going. It gets your mind going. Okay? Because what's important is that you find out what are your skills. What are you good at? What's good for your personality? Okay? As we get older, as we develop, we figure out, okay, I wasn't good at this 5 years ago, but now I've gotten better at it. I've developed myself. I remember, even as I mentioned with the program, public speaking wasn't really something that I was good at. It wasn't something I liked to do. But I found that when I get in these environments and I'm in these situations, that I'm able to speak to persons. I'm able to tell them about how I feel about a situation, express my thoughts, and I'm able to tell them how they can make their lives better, which is all that we're trying to do here at MEL. Okay? So develop skills that are suitable and accentuate your personality. Do you really want to be the best at what you do? Is that really your goal? Do you want to be the best? Do you want persons to follow you? Because I tell you what, I didn't necessarily want people to follow me. The whole goal of the program is I just want one student. If one student can see whether it's something I said, something I did, something that I'm not even conscious that I'm saying or doing, but if one student gets something out of that program, then I feel it's accomplished what it's supposed to accomplish. Do you really want to be the best? If you're managing your career and you've decided, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to move forward with my life, this is how I'm going to make my career better, this is how I'm going to make the world better, this is how I'm going to contribute. I've decided, I've figured out what my purpose is. Are you really the best at what you do? And I think it's something that everyone has to think about. Because if you're not the best at what you do, what are you doing? Are you really trying? The second point, once again, my father would always talk about the process. He is a man of process, as we all know. In our careers, we have to appreciate the steps that you have to go through. That whole process, the past 5 years, learning, developing the program, all of those things have taught me various things throughout. All of those things have taught me various principles that I apply to my life on a daily basis. For example, in developing the program, of course, you have to put curriculum together. You're dealing with students. You want to make it interactive. You want to make it fun. And so there are so many things that you have to go through, different experiences that you can impart with them. Because beyond money, beyond financial management, we also want to teach them about life. Because we're dealing with young persons We want them to make good career goals, as we're talking about here. We want them to do what's best for them. We want them to find their purpose as well. Okay? So all of that was a journey to learn, to be able to speak back to them now and tell them, look, I've been through some of these things. This is my career path. This is how I've gotten where I am now. As we've said throughout MEL, everyone here has their own story. You've gotten where you are through various reasons. The reasons why we want to hear from everyone, or the reasons we talk to people, is because everyone has a different perspective. What I'm saying this morning may help one person, but what another speaker says will help someone else, because everyone went through a different journey. So you have to appreciate the steps that you go through. Are you leading from a place of strength or weakness? Pinder Jr. spoke earlier this morning about the SWOT, and I just want to hop on that again, because it's very important that you understand, if you're going to be managing yourself, you're going to be leading others, are you going to be that type of leader that you're going to be a know-it-all type of leader? Are you going to be the leader that recognizes other people? Are you going to be the type of leader that recognizes, I may not know this, let me allow someone else to get their shine, because that's going to help them in the long run. That's going to make them a better person. I don't want to just do everything, make it seem as if I'm a one-man band. That's not life. That's not how we operate in life. Okay? And I want to give you this very great quote from my father. When we shine, we give light to those around us, and we become an example. Okay? Now, that's why we always give recognition to the people who helped to make us where we are today. This is why we talk about our parents. This is why we talk about teachers, professors, colleagues, bosses, because all of them helped to make us who we are, shape us in one way or the other, positive or negative. And it's very important that we recognize that, because it's important that these persons are given their due as well, because they help to create the person that you see standing in front of you. Money management, very, very critical. Everyone in here, as I mentioned, you're managing yourself, you're deciding what you want to do now, your life is starting to come together, your career, you decided what you wanted to do, now you need money. And the reality of life is you need money to do anything that you need to do. Anything that you want to do, you need money to do it, because money makes the world go round, as they say. Money makes the world go round. Start with what you have. Start with what you have, though. It takes an honest perspective of all of the resources available to you. A lot of persons mention that there are different avenues that you can take to reach your goals. Okay? So you have to look at what is available to you. And honestly, you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic. The first thing, I talk to clients all the time. I tell them, look, here's a blank sheet of paper, blank. I want a blank sheet of paper, okay? Don't tell me you spend $100 on food and entertainment on the weekend when you know you spend $200, okay? Don't tell me, oh, I can't remember how much I spent on X, Y, and Z. You know how much you spent on X, Y, and Z. You only had $100 in your pocket, it's gone. You don't have it anymore. Okay? So you know what you did with you might not remember exactly what you did with the money, but you know that you didn't use it for what you were supposed to. Okay? Proper money management requires honesty to yourself. As I always tell people when we talk about budgeting at my organization, their budget is not about me. Your budget is about you. So I don't need you to come back to me and tell me about your budget, but I need you to be honest with yourself, because you can't manage what you don't have. And if you continue to throw it away, you won't have it to do your goals. You won't have it to help you accomplish your purpose. Take smart risk. Very important. Life is short. You don't know what tomorrow is not promised. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So you have to take smart risks, and risks that are going to add value to your situation. Now, if you're unable to manage your own money, how are you going to help others? How are you going to tell, how am I, as an individual, coming to you this morning, speaking to you, and my financial situation is in disarray. I don't know where the first dollar is going. I don't know where the first dollar is coming from. I don't know what I've spent money on. I don't know how am I going to accomplish my purpose or help to accomplish my goals. We all have lofty goals in here. We all have different things that we want to do with our lives. And we all want to help others in some way or the other, whether that be monetarily, whether that be through speaking to them as I'm speaking to you now. But if you're not managing your own money, How will you help others? Don't micromanage to the extent you do not live your life. A part of the budget, where we talk about on the first point, make a detailed list, don't micromanage. I always tell my clients, if you're sitting down and I've given you the blank paper, you write down your list, right? You've written your list, you're looking at it, and now you have, let's say you have $100. You have a list of expenses that match $101. Expenses now. This isn't you living your life. These are things that you have to do, for lack of a better word, okay? Two things. One, you're stretching yourself too thin, okay? You can't live life. You can't accomplish anything extra. You're just working to pay bills. No one wants to feel that way. I assure you of that. I talk to people every day no one wants to feel like you're just working to pay bills. So first and foremost, you have to cut back on your expenses. You have to decide, am I stretching myself too thin? Am I doing something within this budget? Is there something that I can cut out? Is there something that I could do better? And there definitely is. I assure you of that. There definitely is. But a part of that budget, as I mentioned in the first example, is you want to do something for yourself. That gives you encouragement, that gives you inspiration, that gives you motivation to keep going. You want to do the little things for yourself. It could be as simple as buying yourself ice cream. It could be as simple as going to the movies. But the point of the matter is, don't micromanage your money to the point where you do not live your life. I saw this great quote, and I think about it all the time. Unless you control your money, making more won't help. You will just have bigger payments. Unless you control your money, making more won't help. You'll just have bigger payments. This simply means, listen, if I give you $1 million, everyone in here would be excited, running out of the hotel screaming, thinking of everything that you want to do. But I assure you, by tomorrow, you'll be coming out back at me again. Any chance I can have another cool $1 million? I got some other things I want to do. So all you've done now is you've taken that $1 million and you've spent it, you've allocated it, it's gone, and now you need another $1 million. So you've spent lavishly. Now you have mortgage payments on this boat, yacht, house, whatever the case may be, and now you have bigger payments. Life, career, and money. When all are managed effectively, they can determine how successful you are as a person and a leader. Find ways to improve where you are at right now. Those ways can be things that I talked about. We're talking about talking to someone, a mentor, getting under someone who is in your field, in your career, who can help you to move your life forward, who can help you to organize yourself and provide structure to your life. And also it can be in self-evaluation. Just take a minute to reflect. As I said, the blank paper activity that I talked about. Take that blank paper. Take 2 minutes. See where you are right now. See where you can make your life better. See how you can manage yourself better. Learn to manage yourself, before trying to help others. Once again, you can't help someone manage their lives if your life isn't managed. Thank you.